Okay, so here we are set up for day 2, and as you can see, I've repositioned the camera, the GoPro, in probably one of the worst spots that I could possibly choose. But at the time, I thought it might work, and I didn't have a way to double check how the image was going to turn out. I used my iPhone to connect to the GoPro, but it doesn't show up as it's recording. I probably could have went in after I recorded a bit and played some of it back through the phone, but I didn't. I was more worried about working on the job more than I was making a Grammy award-winning video. Anyways, I'm fast forwarding through most of it. You will get some of the idea here of what I'm doing, starting with the trees in the background, starting with some dark values first and then building up from that, adding some more detail the closer to the foreground that you get. So there again, I'm on there, got my hand in the way for most of it, unfortunately, but you can pick up some of what I'm doing. A lot of that I could have just filled that area right in solid and then painted in some trees, but I like to try and paint as many trees individually, overlapping them and intertwining them. I think it just adds to the overall effect. So yeah, here I've figured out that probably isn't the best position. I was trying to get a better view. I guess maybe if I had some sort of, a helmet cam, it might have worked out where you could actually see directly what I was seeing and not from underneath like that previous shot. So anyways, I'm done with the trees in the background. And now I'm going to start working on the timber of the log house. First thing I'm going to start with is just the underside, the shadow side of each individual log. And obviously it's in the shadow, it's in the deep shadow, so it would be almost black. It's a chocolate brown. And from there I just keep on building up, adding lighter colors the further up I go, and then I blend them as I go along as well. And I am painting them kind of shaky like that on purpose. Here, fast forward through this now. This turned out pretty good for the log cabin, I think. Somehow I turned the camera off at some point, I guess, and forgot to turn it back on. But as you can see, the lighter values on the top, of course. Here I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the ends of those logs there. That's a window there, and so I'm painting like just a little half moon there where the window intersects half of the log. Those little pieces, those little bits of attention to detail is what adds to the overall appearance, the aesthetics of it. the realism, I guess, of it. And here we've got every other log, because one faces, towards the back of the cabin, or the one on top of it or below it, whichever is actually going to face towards the illuminated side. So they'll be painted in a lighter value. They're basically they're intertwined, overlapped, one on top of the other. Or at least that's what I would do if I was building a log cabin, and I haven't tried to build one since I was a teenager. So this seems to be going a lot quicker, which is good as far as the video goes. I'm not going to be playing any music in this one. I don't need it, and I can't really find any good free music to download to be able to use without infringing on any copyright issues and having the video pulled by YouTube. So I'll just gab my way through. So that's almost done, except I think I've got to add one more log along the bottom because I think I forgot. I think that's what I'll be doing next. I don't know, here I'm just adding a little bit of detail to some of the logs, as far as where any knots or imperfections in the wood might show up, little bits here and there. All right, hurry it up there, Druin. That went pretty quick. Painting the chimney, the stone chimney, that was rather time consuming. So each one of the rocks had to have, each one had detail to it. Had a light side, had shadow side. Tried to paint them slightly different colors, and then some were in the shadow side of the towards the back side of the chimney, so those had to be a darker value. I think now is where I'm realizing that I need a second log at the bottom of that window. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Add another one in there. more dead air here. Sorry, but I got nothing to say. I'm watching this guy just paint away just like you are here too while I'm trying to commentate. This guy, me. Fuck. I should almost speed up the time lapse on this here. But there's a good part coming up here where I do the fill in the window, and that's kind of that should be fun to watch, to see how I blend in the colors and how that turns out. One of the there's a couple of techniques I use there. There I'm just trying to blend in the light value with the darker value. Just try to get a nice soft blend between the two areas. And I'll go in and add some of the detail with the little knots, nicks and whatnot, the imperfections in the wood. So that part's done, so then it's on to next. I think I'll be painting all the rest of the porch, the porches, the front one and the back one, and the cedar shake roof. And again, that was it's all time consuming. Oh, I already painted it. I guess probably because I went to the other side to do the timber on the other side of this truck, and then when I came back, I just started painting and forgot to turn on the GoPro again. But there's nothing exciting about that. It's pretty straightforward. Again, so on the back here, so in that portion, that's in the shadow, so that's why that's a nice dark brown. And then going up the side, it will be of a lighter color, obviously catching some of the light from the sun. I think in this shot too, you can now see the mountain in the very background there, and you can see how it's kind of hazy looking. Which I was trying to mention in the first video that it wasn't a hard, crisp line. It had a bit of a haze. It's supposed to, anyways. Like I'm just mixing up some more different color now for the side rails. think at this point there's only about another 5 more minutes left in this video. But I do get to that window shortly here, and that's kind of one of the focal points of the whole piece, as well as that window. Because it catches some of the reflection off of the setting sun, basically. Exciting, yes, yay. Not a very good commentator. I got nothing else to talk about here. You know what, this is probably one of the only paintings that I've never actually hidden anything in the scenery. I just thought of that right now. Normally I would hide something somewhere, something hidden, and I did not do that on this one. Done things where I've had hunters kind of in the background, or paint animals in maybe you're doing something that you wouldn't be expecting. But I didn't do anything like that in this one. Oh, this window should come up soon. This is taking forever. I don't know if you can hear that on the audio here. On the there's somebody else is in the shop there right now, and he's I don't know what he was doing. Running some piece of equipment anyways. Alright, so I think that, yeah, we're ready to do the window now. So I'm just starting with a really a light kind of buttery cream kind of color here. And I'll add some oranges and some red and blend them all together. Well, I guess if you're still watching this, I do appreciate that, despite my poor attempt here at videotaping and commentating and all that. I know I'm not very good at it, but well, that's actually the owner. He just walked by, so that's the guy that owns the truck. Can't very well give him shit for doing whatever the heck he is doing. So I'll be blending those two colors together in a second, but then I just add a little bit of red up in the top left corner just to darken it up a bit, give it some more punch. So now I should be switching brushes. Yep, using the half round flat brush. But it's dry, and I'm just kind of stippling back and forth to blend in the colors together. So it creates a soft transition between the colors, which is it's a technique I do a lot with when I'm blending colors and working with the oils. But having a dry brush is an important aspect of that technique. So that part's done, so now I think anyways, what am I doing? I should just be now putting in the oh, nope, not yet. Adding a little bit more yellow in there, a little more bright yellow. Lemon yellow, I guess it was probably. And back to dry brushing, the stipple effect there. Come on, get on with it. So now I'm just going to paint in the window framing. So here's a fairly good technique to use to try to get a nice straight line. Tilt up a straight edge there. You can just run your brush right along the edge of it like that. Of course, it's important to try to keep your fingers out of the wet paint. I've actually got a longer bridge that, but I had it at home. I didn't bring it with me. It's tough to remember everything, but it would have spanned right across that whole painting, and I wouldn't have had to worry about touching the rest of the paint job there. But there we go. There's that. So that'll be the end of this. Just had to touch up there where my hand touched some of the paint there. This was a short day when I had done this day. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching, and I will be posting the next one in a couple of days. That one will cover what will it cover? I think the chimney, and I believe all the grass that is in the yard there. And I'm just adding a little more shadow underneath there to that post. Again, it's just one of those little attention to detail there that just adds to the overall effect. That's enough. Color quits. No one to walk away.